So I highly doubt that all these women are as comfortably financially going on shopping sprees and whatever for themselves.
Is that toxic if the love is unconditional? Like if the person is fucked up and you're still loving them?
I still love being an edgy hottie that does not give a single fuck. I am doing this for me
I can't do this.
because it makes me
so
feel
cringe, bro. I can't do this, man.
If they're not in a good headspace, they're not gonna want to do anything.
Well, it depends. I feel like for a lot of guys, putting them down actually will motivate them to be better.
I'm a little nervous. I'm so nervous. God. All right, what?
Wait.
Take a drink. Take a drink.
When we're actually introducing ourselves, can we not talk about age? Because I realize a lot of people talk about their age in your podcast. Can we not do that?
Or like what we do. I don't want people to find me. You know, LinkedIn is out there, you know?
Okay.
LinkedIn is out there.
Name only, and that's it.
Name only?
Sorry.
And
Okay.
only first
Or you could say like where you're from. That's fine.
All right, where we're from. All right, viewers, let us know what you guys want to see in the future for future introductions. But welcome back to the Controvert podcast, where we talk about modern dating, growth motivation, and crazy stories. Today, we're going to be talking about modern dating because we have a special video that we want to do analysis on because I think it kind of rubs some people off the wrong way, but also maybe some people agree with it. So let's see how it goes. And let's do an intro right now. So I'm your host, Panda. And what else should we say? Whatever.
Where you're from.
Where I'm from. I'm from Walnut, I guess. So boring. Like people are like, where's Walnut? Anyways, go ahead. Let's do Tran next.
All right, so my name is Saint. Some people call me Tran. And I'm from Hacienda Heights.
My name is Stephanie. We live together, so I'm also from Hacienda Heights.
I'm Sandee. I'm from Australia, but I've been living in LA since I was 18, and prior to that, I was in Taiwan.
Where's your kangaroo accent, mate?
I'm sorry to disappoint you. I don't have that. I don't have the sexy accent, but anyways.
You what, mate? All right.
Okay.
For sure. Let's just get into this video. That was a really shitty and I feel like that was a bleak introduction. Maybe we could have like
You want to do icebreakers?
like what icebreaker can we do next time? I don't know. Like
Your
maybe
favorite body part on the opposite sex.
Oh.
my favorite body part.
Hell of
Okay. I like that. You want to start, Saint? Because obviously you have something in mind, right?
I'm a boobs guy, but face is probably most important.
Boobs guy.
So face or boobs? Pick one.
Face for sure.
Okay. All right.
But
I
boobs,
think a
boobs
lot.
pretty
I think a
close
lot of
second.
people like face, but
But boobs are pretty close second.
that's funny. I also like pecs. I like chesties.
Okay, so pecs or like face? Like what would you prefer more?
Well, if you have an ugly face, then I don't want to look at your pecs. So it's kind of even, right?
It's
Wait,
true.
right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of codependent on each other, right?
I
That's what you're
guess,
saying?
yeah. I would say so.
All right, Sandy, go ahead.
I think I like the shoulders and the pelvic line and the tonus of the overall body.
You can only pick one,
Oh.
2 at most. That was 3.
That's like a synthesis of everything.
Yeah, she was
the
like,
hell?
I want everything to be a 10.
She wants a Greek god.
Then I would say guys with shoulders.
Broad shoulders.
Yeah, broad shoulders.
They look like
it
muscular.
can't be very skinny like a girl because I'm already skinny.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
Me, if I want to keep it to like one body part, I guess. I mean, does face count? I guess.
That's
You
what I
just
said.
face.
See, that's why we're
Wait,
saying.
okay,
Okay,
how about-
barring
how
the
about-
face, what's the
How
second
about
one?
Yeah.
Everything except for face. Let's look at everything except for face.
Okay, then
So
we
for
said
me,
pecs and boobs.
Yeah.
Okay, I would say, fuck, this is kind of hard. I would say,
What's hard?
The millimeter defeater.
I would say just the Can I say like the overall shape?
I
like
think
just
I
like
knew what you were gonna
thin?
Oh, like
Just
like
thin?
waist hip ratio.
Waist.
Yeah, I don't care about boobs or ass or whatever. It's just I care about like
Like the hourglass
thin.
shape.
Proportion.
Yeah, because I feel like when they're thinner, it's like
Would you say
tighter.
interesting?
Oh.
Like their body.
I don't think that's always true though. Do you think thinner means tighter?
What have you
Well, I
fucked
mean, I don't know
women?
about-
Have you fucked women though? What the fuck? How can you ask? How can you make a conclusion when you never had sex?
No,
with
that's
women?
why she's asking a question.
Yeah,
She asked the question.
exactly.
She's like, she says,
Thank you,
I don't
Stephanie.
think, and then she says, right?
Oh, thank you. I really like Stephanie.
Yeah. See, there you go. Girl power.
Drink, dude.
Girl
Where's the
power.
truth? Yeah, dude.
Wait,
Fuck
but
it,
do you
fuck it, man.
like? Is it just thin, Or do you want like the
Yeah, what if
curve?
like she's thin but she doesn't have a waistline like no curve.
Like-
She's just full, like
yeah, do you want like a remote control or do you want like a
Oh,
hour?
yeah,
Like a
I
Coke
would say
bottle.
like this. Like a lot of guys that I talk to about this, they're like, oh, you know, your type is kind of like a 13-year-old boy.
Oh.
Yeah, so maybe I'm a pedophile.
What's a 13
I don't think you should be saying that online.
What's a 13
Definitely don't cut this out.
What's a 13-year-old boy figure like?
No, like a remote, like just like boxy, I guess.
That's your type.
but skinny boxy, I guess.
No, skinny. Like
Skinny
just,
boxy.
Oh, but a
like
little-
this.
Yes.
But then you like have like a little curve.
No
Like
curve.
that.
He
No
just
curve.
says
Just straight.
skinny.
Straight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Very interesting. You don't like hourglass?
No.
I mean that's sexy, but then I get intimidated by that because it's like hourglass figure. I feel like it's like model, and then if she's like too model or celebrity, like I feel like she's too good for me. Maybe I'm just an insecure little bitch, right?
Yeah, probably.
We're having a lot of realizations today.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, all right, let's just jump right into the video. I think we dilly-dally a little bit too much. So,
Ooh, you remembered.
all right, let's go.
Women nowadays are so high maintenance. What do you bring to the table? Oh boy, I have a lot to say on this. Let's go. First of all, women bring emotional support. We're there to provide comfort and a safe space to come home to. We bring compassion, care, and healing. We bring beauty and femininity. Cause don't lie, bro, you also take pride when your girl is a 10. Your ego gets boosted too when all your friends think your girlfriend is hot. Don't lie, bro. We're also there to give you a second opinion.
All right,
to stop you
let's
from
stop it here. Let's stop it here for now. She's saying so much at one time. I'm a little bit too buzzed to like comprehend.
We
right
gotta
now.
go point by point.
All right, we gotta go point by point.
Yeah.
So
Let's
let's
video analysis.
yeah, video analysis. Okay, what do you bring to the table, right?
to the table.
So what do you guys think about this with this whole bringing something to the table? Like, do you guys, as women, do you guys get pressure when like a guy asks, like, what do you bring to the table? I think we had a conversation about this before, about like true love, right? There's not really something, you think true love doesn't exist because if the guy is seeing what the woman can bring to the table, that's not really true love, right?
I kind of feel like it sounds very transactional, but I feel like at the same time it makes sense, you know? Like, do you guys think true love exists? Because I feel like true love to me means unconditional love. But again, the question is, unconditional love, is that toxic if the love is unconditional? Like, if the person is fucked up and you're still loving them, like,
Yeah,
oh my god.
He has actually a lot to say on this.
All right.
I'm glad you
tell
bring
me.
this up. I've
Yeah.
actually talked about this before. Yeah, I don't believe that it exists because if it did, well, actually no, I do believe it exists, and when it does, it is toxic and it's unhealthy. Because unconditional love means if your husband beats you and treats you like shit and cheats on you, you still love him. And if that's unconditional love, that's not good. Like, love should be conditional, and you guys should have the premise that you are going to care for each other and treat each other well in order to stay together. And if that's unconditional, then so be it. But yeah.
Well spoken by the Tran bestite.
Thank you.
That makes sense. That makes sense. But
His name is Tran.
But I guess I was saying like unconditional. If let's say your wife, she's sick, she has cancer, would you stay with her? And then even though like for her remaining years, sorry, this sounds really cynical, and she can't offer you any benefits anymore, then
Ooh, we've also talked about this.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
but that would be
that's true.
unconditional, right? That would be a healthy.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a healthy or not, but it's a lot of sacrifices.
I think what the threshold is, if that person becomes a piece of shit, then that would be qualms for you to not have unconditional love for that person anymore. But if it's like something they can't help and it's just like a health issue, then
Yeah,
I
I
think
think-
that's when true love should still exist.
Yeah. I think the condition is whether they're hurting you or not. And if they're hurting you and you're still there, then that is no longer a healthy relationship. But if they're sick themselves,
What if the girl gets obese? Let's not even talk about anything like cancer, but if she just physically gets really obese,
so
like
yeah,
would you
so
still
like
love her?
that's actually very similar.
I
Like
think
whether she has cancer or she's obese, like basically she's becoming unhealthy and her life is being shortened. And in that case, I'm gonna try my best to help her out. If she's obese, then
He feels like that's kind of like a choice though. Like
Oh,
if
yeah,
if
true.
she's like okay, if you get sick and then you get fat, right? Like that's like okay, you got sick, but there are things that you can do to be better. But if he sees that you're not like taking that step to be better, like, oh, I'm already like this way, and then like I'm helpless, blah blah blah, I don't want to do anything, I'm just gonna sit here and eat, then he's kind of like, okay, well, I can't love you for the version of you are right now.
Yeah,
So
because because I work out and I like to hike, and if my partner she wants to sit on the couch all day, eat a lot, and like become obese, we're no longer in line with our interests.
That's in a sense a little bit like hurting that person, right? Because if you're also not doing house chores and you're just putting it all on one other person, then that true love starts to just become hatred for that person.
Resentment.
Right? Yeah, resentment.
Yeah.
So I think true love does exist, but then it comes to a point where it starts to droop off. Like you have to really see if this person is actually being equal a little bit, like being a little bit fair.
Yeah,
that's why I think
there's people who criticize people who, like, if their partner starts getting obese and they're like, oh, I can't love you anymore. And I get it if it's entirely superficial, but the way I see it as someone who really values my health and I care a lot about my diet too, if my partner is no longer taking care of themselves, then I'm gonna help them. And like with her, I make sure she takes certain supplements every day.
That's
and
really
I make sure she gets enough protein. So I'll do my
what kind
part.
of protein?
All kinds.
Taiwan sausage.
There's Taiwanese sausage. There's protein shakes. Just all across the board.
Where do you get that Taiwanese sausage? Do you get it from like domestically or like?
It's organically grown. Free range.
Is it grass fed or is it protein fed?
It's protein fed.
Like protein powder fed after you take a workout?
Yeah. It's also creatine fed.
You take creatine. Oh wow.
Yeah. It's like
it's a lot of water weight, so that increases the density.
It
of
does.
The,
high
Taiwan
volume.
I don't know if that's a good thing though, because Taiwanese sausage, I would want like just the pure meat without like water.
Oh, not
Yeah.
processed.
Yeah, I would consider that a little bit processed, Tran. So
It is.
maybe you should consider where you get your processed meat from.
But
yeah.
it's a thought that counts, though. It's a thought, and
Yeah. So going back to that, So I'll try my best. And then, but if she doesn't want to take part in any of it, then that's gonna become an issue, because like I'm trying to help you, I'm trying to make you a better person. And
but what if, from her point of view, like she has her own like expectations or how she wants to do things? It's just not aligned with yours, and you want her to do a certain thing. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, you want her to take protein. What if, like, how she takes care of herself is completely different? She just feels like how I take care of myself is I want to like binge on snacks. I want to enjoy myself. I would just want to Netflix. That's how I enjoy myself. This is what brings me happiness. Then do you still feel like you need to kind of impose that on her, or do you feel like, do you know what I'm trying to say?
I think there's tolerances to that, because you said eat snacks, but how much do you eat snacks? Do
you do
like
moderation.
A
that's
lot?
fine.
And because snacks has a lot of cholesterol.
I'm just talking about like, what if your other half, like how she deems happiness is different than yours?
Well, yeah. If that's the case, then
He said he can go find someone else.
There's an
will have a line.
incompatibility.
Yeah.
Because it's the same. Like, let's say for me, let's say potentially I'm an alcoholic, or I really like drugs. That's my version of happiness, and I get addicted to that. She sees it. It's bad for me, obviously, but that's my version of happiness. Then there's people who break up because their partner becomes addicted to drugs, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Because
no, that's not totally fine. I disagree with that. I feel like there's some things that are just black and white. You addicted to drugs, you're alcoholic. That's just black and white. You should not be doing that. Like it makes you happy, but it's not going to be good for the long-term relationship.
Yeah. So I'm saying,
But
like,
would
if they
you
break up
want to
for that,
at
then
least
that's
try
fine.
to know the reason why they're the way they are? Would you try to understand before you make it so black and white? Would you want to understand what the gray area is? What drives someone to drink a lot or become a drug addict?
Well, I think that comes with like helping your partner through certain things. So that's where he's saying like he can only do so much. So you can understand like a person from where they're coming from. Like, oh, okay, maybe you're taking drugs and doing this because you have PTSD from a past traumatic event. So it's like, okay, so for him, maybe he can help that person. Like, okay, well, maybe we'll get you therapy. We'll start doing certain things. We can start meditating, journaling, whatever, to help you get past this. Oh, okay. But if the other person is just like, no, fuck it, like I just want to do what I'm doing, then that's when you can draw the line and be like, okay, so this is where we're incompatible, because I'm I understand that you have your vices and I'm trying to help you past that. But if you're not going to meet me halfway, then what's to say that in the future when like I'm falling through something that you're not going to help me halfway, because you're just like, oh, I'm not going to meet you halfway when you're trying to help me, so why would I help you halfway when you need help? So I think that's where you can draw the line.
You should be with someone that makes you a better person.
That makes a lot of sense.
But I think like because people say like, is love a choice? And we can like dive into that too, because some people will say like true love, no, it's not a choice. Like you just have this infatuation, you feel so deeply for this person, it's not a choice. But working on the hard stuff, having the tough conversations, that's a choice. Because a lot of people, even nowadays, like with dating, it's like you find one thing that's an ick or that you don't like, and you're just like, instead of talking to that person, and we talk about communication is like really important, that if you don't talk to that person and tell them how you feel about certain things, then it's not going to work out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think there's like a globally accepted rule of like what to do and what not to do, how to be a good person, how to not be a good person. Like being a drug addict is definitely not, but it's like what you said, right? You got to understand the process and you guys work together towards that. But if this person doesn't want to work towards that and they want to keep like saying, oh, this is just how I am, then it's like they want to be a shitty person, then I don't want to be with a shitty person. I don't want to be struggling the rest of my life, right?
Yeah.
So if I have to take care of someone who's like a drug addict and they can't even take care of our kids, then it's like I would be the only one taking care of the kids. Like it's like a lot of stress on me. So I think it all boils down to like if there's a sense of fairness and equality. That's why I always bring it up on this podcast about equality. I feel like everything kind of revolves around equality with dating. But anyways, we've only gone through like we've only analyzed like what, 4 seconds. It's only been 4 seconds. All right, bring to the table.
Like,
yeah,
okay. Oh boy, I have a lot to say. Let's go. Women bring. Okay, let's go on this.
Bring emotional support. We're there to provide comfort and a safe space to come home to. We bring compassion.
Okay, comfort and a safe space to come home to.
Well, first of all, what is the point she's trying to make in this overall video? So I know what she's talking about. What is the point she's trying to make?
I guess we do have to watch the whole thing first.
All right, I guess so. Yeah.
Care and healing. We bring beauty and femininity. Cause don't lie, bro, you also take pride when your girl is a 10. Your ego gets boosted too when all your friends think your girlfriend is hot.
Okay, the point of this video though is that
TLDR.
Yeah, okay, TLDR is that she's saying what do women bring to the table? We bring a lot, and it's just like she's kind of saying that we bring a lot. We don't really have to do anything, and we just bring a lot. But like they bring emotional support, and she lists like some stuff like compassion. And now she's talking about like if other people think your girlfriend is hot. So now she's saying like just her being hot is doing a lot now.
Kind of like a trophy girlfriend.
Yeah, she's basically saying like men shouldn't ask women what they bring to the table because of all these things that all women bring to the table.
Okay, so now let's analyze this part. So she talks about like let's go with the whole emotional support. So women bring emotional support. Like what do you girls have to say about that?
I feel like it goes both ways. But
yeah,
if you're talking about like women, and we've touched upon this before on the last podcast where women are more emotional, so we're more in touch with like our feelings and stuff. And I guess men are more stoic in the sense of like, and it's just the way that like society has brought up like boys, right? Like they're just like, oh, hide away your feelings and don't think about them. So I think like girls in general are able to bring that out, right? Like breaking that wall down and having you be more emotional in that like sense. So I think that's what she's trying to say. And we could bring it back to like when guys are dating, like you're in a fuckboy phase, you're not going to get really like simpy or emotional. But if you find the right girl, then she's able to bring that out for you, like from you. So I think that's where she's getting at.
But here's the way I see it. You did mention that women are more emotional, right? But doesn't that mean they're more higher maintenance. They require a lot more of that emotional support. So they might not necessarily be providing emotional support because they're like, oh, I got my period, I need like some chocolates, I need like your hug or whatever bullshit. I don't know if like women are not supposed to eat chocolate, right? But they have cravings of eating chocolate.
No, actually, if you eat dark
Don't cancel
chocolate,
me for this.
it's better for your hormones and stuff. It like actually helps. Dark chocolate though, not milk chocolate.
Okay. Well, anyways, yeah, I mean, because they're more emotional, then they require a lot more emotional support. And then men, because they're more stoic and then they're, I guess, like more logical. I guess that's like the stigma, right?
Well,
then that's why I feel like then men would not really need too much emotional support. They still would need it. Like we, at times, like when men, like we're going through some shit, we do need that emotional support. But then I often find that just like with women that I've dated, that I would be providing more emotional support and not receiving that much, you know, like probably I would provide 10 times and then she would provide like
What
one
kind
time.
of emotional support did you like give?
Like pampering, like, you know, buying some things.
Like if they're
when she's
sad,
down.
you would
Yeah,
actually have a deep conversation with them
Yep.
and talk them through
exactly.
it.
well,
yeah.
pampering and buying someone things is not necessarily emotional support. I think
Yeah.
you're just buying off time and effort. Like
Yeah,
I
but
wouldn't
it's
say
like
I
thought
wouldn't
that
say
counts,
like
right?
throwing money at someone, but it kind of like
Yeah.
that's kind of what it is. But in terms of emotional support that I think she's talking about is like having someone to like
No.
talk about your like
But
feelings with.
For example, like when someone's down and you buy something like they really like, and then it makes their day, right? It makes their day like a lot better. So that's kind of like a form of emotional support, right?
But I think she was trying to say like emotional support's more like when you actually sit them down, talk about their feelings, talk about the problems, rather
Yeah.
than just buying something. Even though where he's coming from is like,
No,
oh,
I
know-
understand. I definitely
Yeah.
understand like where you're coming from. Like you want to like show them that you understand like they're struggling by like buying them something nice that like makes them feel better or smile, whatever. But I think in terms of her emotional support would be like having a safe space to talk about or vent about things.
Yeah.
And we know that like suicide rates in men are higher than women, and I think like that's what she's like touching upon. But I get what you're saying,
Yep.
like about the whole like, oh yes, because girls are more emotional, they need more like support in that sense. But I think relationships are a two-way street, right? Like women might provide men with a way to be more emotional and have more like be in touch with that, but also it kind of teaches them to be like what Sandee was talking about, like have those conversations when she's feeling sad instead of just spending money on her to make her smile. Because yes, while girls might be more emotional, I think having a healthy communication and like talking them through it instead of just being like, here's some chocolates or here's some food, like but why are you feeling like this? And I think he does that for me, and like vice versa. Like when he's having a bad day or we talk about certain things, and when I'm having a bad day, he doesn't just be like, you need a snack, you need a nap. Like he's just like, hey, like what are you like, why do you feel this way, and like what can we do to fix it?
So the TLDR for this is that like it is very important for both, right, to provide that emotional support. It's not necessarily that one provides it better than the other person. So I guess like what she's saying here is that like women are better providers of emotional support, but that's not necessarily true, right? I mean, both people need kind of like, I would say women still need a little bit more emotional support, but I think men also still need like a baseline emotional support. But you know what?
I feel like men really do, because they really do suppress a lot of things just because how they're taught, you know, throughout childhood. It's like you can't really show your emotions. So I feel like meeting the right girl, like what she's saying is that we can actually, like what she said, what Stephanie said, like we can help you get in touch with your feelings more. And I think that is very important, no?
Like I think it's just like having that safe space while both parties are gonna contribute to that emotional support for the other person. Like guys, like in terms of like bro talk, right? Like when you talk to, let's say like if you're catching up with him, you're not gonna be like, oh man, like I don't know why I've been feeling super depressed, and I think it's because like you don't really talk to a guy like that as well as like maybe you would.
I do. I mean, I do with this one friend. Like he's always like complaining.
Okay.
But
like maybe,
you know, I do that
like
too.
Maybe
with him.
like maybe you have like one or two of those friends, but the vast majority of guys that if you talk to them, they're not gonna say that they have very deep conversations with another dude. Like maybe like, okay, I understand like, okay, late night partying, you drinking, and then you start talking about certain things, but on the day to day, I think she's saying day to day, you can come home to somebody and be like, hey man, like I've been having a hard day and I think these might be the reasons, and that's fine, because it's not like, for girls, if we're having a hard day, we might come to our partner, but a lot of times we go to our friends, because girls talk to each other in that way. Like
even if you guys are not close, you guys will still talk, right?
Yeah, like we'll still like bring things up, and it's just like, oh, like having someone to talk with. Like girls can open up to other girls and stuff easier. But I think for guys, it's like, unless you have that one like ride or die friend, you're not gonna like hit them up and be like, you know, I'm having this feeling, this and that.
Yeah.
I also had another video that I wanted to show you about a girl dissecting like girls friendships versus guy friendships, and it touches upon that, where like guys will go out and they'll be friends for like 10 years, but it's like they only know each other surface level, like, oh yeah, I knew that he was going through a hard time during this time, but it's not like we were talking, I just knew that, you know, this and that was happening. Yeah. But for girls, like maybe girls have more falling outs with their friends, but it's because they have more emotions tied to it. Like they
that's a good point.
Yeah, like they hold each other's hand through certain things, and when one person lets the other person down, because it's like, hey, we built this friendship, we've been friends for years, and you've seen me go through this, like I was there for you for this, like how can you do me like that? But so that's why I'm saying, like, girls are more emotional, yes, and that's why they're able to offer that. Because
but the question for this, the question I have for this is that, like, okay, so girls are very emotional and very emotionally supportive for each other, right? But Tran, let me ask you this, because you've been really quiet, bro, for some fucking odd reason.
I was letting her talk.
So, I know. But what I'm trying to ask is that, like, okay, because you dated a couple girls. I mean, you dated a fuck ton of girls, right? I've dated a fuck ton of girls. Right? Let's just be honest. Like we've had. So if you guys have seen the retired fuck boys versus fuck girls, watch that video. I just gotta plant that seed there. And then I want to ask you, because you've dated a lot of girls, right? I keep saying a couple.
It is a couple.
He's a nice guy.
One or two.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that out of percentage of girls that provided you emotional support, like how much do you think it is?
It's pretty low. Girls actually, like most of them, if I had a problem and I talked to them about it, most of them could not actually comfort me the way that where I would feel comforted. Like I would walk away from the conversation feeling like that like went nowhere.
Yeah, so that's kind of like what I was saying, because like I felt the same way too. Yeah, like a lot of girls that I date, I didn't feel that like emotional support. I felt like I was giving more to them. Yeah. And then there's like a small percentage they would give me emotional support. Yeah. So I'm not saying that women are not emotionally supportive, but they might be emotionally supportive for themselves. Like you guys.
I think it's a skill. I think it's a skill, and I think it's rare. And the way she's saying it is like all women do this, but I don't think so. It's like small majority.
But there's also a problem with all these videos, though. They're just like, it's very general, right?
Yeah, she's generalizing. Yeah.
And obviously here we're talking about like different nuances and stuff. But this is very general.
And then she's also saying a safe space to come home to after work. I've had more relationships where I came home after work and there was an argument waiting for me, and not a safe space. Same. And it's like and that comes danger zone. Yeah, and that comes like the emotional support thing is a double-edged sword. It's like, yes, they can provide emotional support, but I also have to take care of them emotionally, which means there's things that are going to bother them that normally wouldn't bother me, and that turns into fights. So it's like, not only like, yeah, sometimes I come home and she's on the couch and yeah, we can cuddle, or sometimes I come home and she's like, why the fuck didn't you respond to me like for 2 hours? It's like, now I have to come home from work and get into a fight. So it's like, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's like emotional support is a double-edged sword. So
you know what's the worst part is when you come home, there's always an argument waiting for you. You come home, there's no emotional support waiting for you as well. So it's like not even a double-edged sword. It's a double facing you sword.
Well, first of all,
two swords facing you.
But like, why would the girl be waiting at home trying to start a fight? Did the guy do something? I
guess it's a figurative.
Did the guy?
Speech.
But I'm just saying, like.
Well, yeah, no, it's because, I mean, every relationship there's gonna be fights, right? Like there's no fightless relationship, and if there is, then like they're either not gonna work out soon, or it just doesn't exist.
Or it's like something like ridiculous. It's like probably I didn't text her back for like 6 hours. I come home and she's like, why didn't you text me back? Yeah, it's like, dude, I had a busy day. You know, every day to day is like case by case, you know.
Yeah.
So some shit could happen. And then I've had girls that I dated. I'm pretty sure you guys have had guys that you dated. They just take things out of proportion, right? It's like, why didn't you do this? Because it's something out of the norm. So then he just blows the fuck up and he starts saying you're a whore or whatever bullshit. Fuck, I should blurt that out.
But if a guy doesn't text back for 6 hours because he's busy, I mean, I'm sure he has time to go take a piss or eat lunch. Like, if you really care about someone, you would at least take just like 5 seconds to reply, hey, look, I'm going to be busy for the next few hours.
I think it's just communication. Like if you're...
Hey, I was painting this room. I don't know if you guys noticed, Controvert viewers, but I was painting this room for about 3 hours. I didn't take a piss. I think there's a time I took a piss like towards the end, like the 3 hours. So then, I had my phone on airplane mode. Someone's trying to call me, like a girl. And then, I mean, she didn't get mad, but, like I could see if it was like a really sensitive girl, she would be like fucking tripping. Like, why is your phone on airplane mode? It seems sus as fuck. You know what I mean? So then, so I get a little bit insecurity. And then so when I had to talk with this girl, I was scared that maybe she might be thinking that I'm being suspicious as fuck. Maybe I put my phone on airplane mode because I'm going to see another chick or something. So sometimes, it might be in her head that, there's.
Are you sure she thought that though, or she was just curious?
I was scared. That like
he has PTSD.
Yeah, I have PTSD from previous cases. Okay. So that's why I'm saying like this coming home, it's a figure of speech because sometimes it's not coming home. Sometimes it's just like a guy is just doing something. He's really busy and then doesn't like communicate for like a little bit, like 2-3 hours. Then she's like, what the fuck, like airplane mode, what the fuck?
I'm not even gonna say the fight is ridiculous. I'm just saying that when two people are in a relationship, there's things that are gonna annoy one person that don't annoy them and vice versa. So the fights are going to happen and they're necessary, but it is just something that you will come home to once in a while, and it's not the safe space that she's talking about, and that's something you have to deal with.
But again, these videos are very general.
I guess I'm still a little confused because we're watching this video and I understand what she's trying to talk about, but what is she trying to prove? Like, so a guy asked her, "What can you bring to the table?" What about this video? What is she trying to say?
She's basically saying that he shouldn't be asking her that because she brings, or all women already bring these things, so men shouldn't even be asking.
Naturally, it happens. But it's not everyone is capable of like those things because yes, like some people are more like they need more or they're just more emotional in that sense. So
if all the traits that she mentions in this video applied to one woman, then that woman would be perfect and would not, like, guys should not ask her what you bring to the table. But that's actually pretty rare, like all the traits that she's talking about.
Actually, you know what, like Stephanie, you brought up a good point. Like it's a broad thing, right, to apply it to like everyone and stereotype it. But like I feel like me and I don't know about you, I mean I'm pretty sure you feel this way, but I feel like the qualities that she's listing that all women or a majority of women provide, I feel like it's really hard to find that nowadays. Like,
like even if you want to generalize, at least like state traits that most women have, but she's giving out traits that like they're actually pretty rare. Yeah.
Especially with like modern dating, it's really changed a lot. So
you can't generalize whatever she's trying to generalize.
Because whatever she's saying, like, you can find a friend that does all of that, right?
Yeah.
So
you can.
So what differentiates between what a girlfriend can do and what a friend can do? Because emotional support, it's not limited to just girlfriends.
She does list other things that.
Yeah, we'll continue.
Yeah, we'll continue.
Yeah.
Let's get into that. All right.
Don't lie, bro. We're also there to give you a second opinion, to stop you from doing stupid shit. Because we have your best interest at heart, and we want to support your...
Okay, when she says stop you from doing stupid shit, I feel like not a lot of guys do stupid shit. Like, maybe the guys she's dating does stupid shit. But, there's a lot of, like, non-fuckboys, non-gangsters, non-like, clumsy motherfuckers out there. Just nerds, right? So, okay, that's what I have to say about that. Let's continue.
Goals, your plan, your vision. And on top of that, we bring intimacy, closeness, empathy, understanding, guidance to the freaking table. Because I've seen y'all men comfort each other, and it is the lamest thing ever. Bro, I had a bad day at work. Man, I'm sorry to hear that. Take it easy, yeah? Here, have a can of beer. Now, would you prefer that? Or, baby, do you want to talk about it? Tell me, what else can I do to make you feel better? If you'd rather be comforted.
Hold up. Okay, so I never had anyone. I don't think I've ever had anyone go like, "What can I do?" and it's like getting to. That's fucking crazy. I wish. I feel like, dude. I feel like if you're a woman watching this right now and you are wondering why am I not getting any good guys? Like, I feel like this is a really she makes a good point. Like, yeah, this is what a lot of guys would want, but I feel like not a lot of women would think that and put two and two together. So just a tip for like the women out there, you know. Like, I think this is definitely like, I don't know, that makes a big difference for us guys when it's just like small actions like that.
I actually I actually disagree. If I'm stressed out at work and there's something I need to do, getting a blowjob is the last thing on my mind. I'm trying to do this shit at work. I'm trying to stop my boss from blowing up my emails. And
Stop her from blowing.
Yeah. I'd rather my boss stop blowing up than my girl blow me. Like, that's what I'm worried about. But yeah, no, that doesn't solve everything. Even it would solve everything for Panda though, but it wouldn't solve everything for me.
I understand. Like, you're physically depleted at that point, but then it's like, I think the thought matters a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you guys have to say about this? She had some other points.
I want to keep watching to know the whole content.
Okay, we could all agree about this. Like, here's a can of beer. Like, I'm sorry to hear that. Here's a can of beer, right? Like, men kind of comfort in a shitty way, right?
It's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah.
But like, if it's like what you said, Stephanie, if you guys are like ride or die, then yeah, it's different. But for example, like a stranger, like a girl meeting another girl stranger, it's like, oh my god. Like, last week we went to this party. I think I saw a couple people talking about like people they dated and they just met that day, like 2 girls. And I was like, you know, guys, we don't do that shit. We can't just be like, oh my god, my girl, like this girl I'm dating, like to a guy we just met. Okay. So on top of that, your vision. Oh, okay, this part. So she says something about like girls have the guy's best interest at heart and would support for the goals.
Your best interest at heart. And we want to support your goals, your plan, your vision. And on top of...
Okay. Tran, what do you have to say
That's
about
definitely not. That's not the case. I had a girl that I dated once, and she basically told me if I wasn't making more money, then she couldn't be with me. So that was definitely not my best interest, and that was her best interest. But yeah, making more money is good for me, but didn't sound like she wanted that for me. It sounded like she wanted it for her.
Herself.
Yeah.
Here's my story. At a time where I was dating someone, and then just getting her to follow this podcast, or even like another girlfriend from before, when I started e-commerce, like a drop shipping thing, I created an Instagram, and then getting her to follow that was also a little bit hard too.
Was this studded men?
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Anyways.
And then so like I feel like just a small follow, it was a little bit hard for her to do. I was just like, what the fuck? Like, it's
what
like,
was her reason for not wanting to follow it though?
it's just like she didn't think. And then when I asked her to do it, she's like, oh, okay, I'll do it. And then it's like, you don't think about this yourself first. It's like a small follow could do a lot.
How old was she?
Like 23 that time, maybe 22.
I mean, it's kind of understandable.
And then the last one was probably 30. Yeah. So
like you want the girls that you date to take an interest in your life and what you do, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like you don't even have to say it or ask.
Yeah.
They should just kind of know.
Yeah.
Yeah, supporting your vision.
Yeah.
Like she's saying. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's this girl I was talking to recently, and then I found out that she was like looking through like the whole Controvert podcast and just like Legend Panda TV, even like this is my prank channel before, and then just like studded men. I was like, whoa, shit, she knows like everything. And then to me, I mean, to the girl, she's probably like, oh, it's a small ordeal. But then to guys, I think we take that really big. We're like, oh, wow, this girl is investing a lot into like finding out and supporting my stuff, because it's like crazy.
But
it's
also,
like,
not every guy is as appreciative as you, which is a really good trait that you have. I think there are men out there who just really take it for granted. And I wonder if the girls from your past, I wonder if they dated guys that just kind of took them for granted. They're just like, I don't really need to take an interest. I feel like there's always a reasoning.
that contradicts this video. So then that would make them not supportive. That's the bottom line. I mean, yeah, I get it. You're saying that they probably have trauma, but then that trauma
Or maybe
correlates
they
to
just didn't care
being like
enough.
this.
Yeah.
So
Well, I feel like maybe these are characteristics that she has, and yes, maybe they're in a minority, but in her mind, she's just thinking like, okay, I do these things, so this is what I bring to the table.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, supporting your vision and stuff, that's really important. And I would say that
Honestly,
I think if girls think like long term, like, okay, if this is my partner and like they want to do these things, like I'll support it. Like that's good. And that's a good partner to have. And I think like in dating nowadays, I don't think a lot of people think long term. They're just thinking about like my comfort right now. Like what can you
like
bring to me
instant
right now?
gratification, what they want
Yeah.
instantly, right? Yeah. No, that's a good point. I don't know. I feel like she's really been through some stuff where she seems really bitter about men in general. Don't you think?
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, it's
Yeah.
funny because like, say for example, a man is talking like this, like very snarky and shit, he would get canceled. But this would get like hella likes and shit. It's like, I feel like
All the women
TikTok-
that went through trauma would like her shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I feel like
I feel like-
TikTok is like catered towards women, and then so if a guy speaks out like complaining about shit like this, he'd get canceled quick, you know. And then just it's weird, just the double standard. But yeah, Tran, you've been.
I wonder if it's because men
Been
just
so
generally
quiet,
have
bro.
like a reputation.
Oh no, I said what I need to say about
Okay.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's go deeper into this. I feel like it's just, dude, it's already been like 40 minutes. We've only been like, where are we?
We were almost done actually.
Oh, okay, bad day at work. I'm sorry to hear that. Here, have a beer. We went through all this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, right here. If you,
Be comforted by your bros and a can of beer, then go marry each other lah. Or better yet, go marry the fucking table. And mind you, women nowadays can afford to pay our own rent and bills. We can buy our own meals. And can still afford to go on shopping sprees to pamper ourselves with cute clothes, makeup products, and beauty treatment. So, if we can already do that for ourselves, I guess the question is, what do you bring to the table? Period. Okay, I love you always. Bye.
I don't know, man. It just makes me not really happy hearing her. Like, you're just very slappable face, I would say. I mean, I don't slap women, but it's just very.
Unless they
slappable.
ask.
Yeah. Oh shit. I mean, it's
Consent
like
is key.
maybe not sometimes when they ask, but when they, you could tell when they want to be slapped.
Never
you
slapped
know,
a girl on the face before.
That's not
No,
what
I
he's
mean,
saying. That's not.
I'm saying like you could tell if they want to be slapped during some special
Interactions.
environment, you know. So
Doing some extracurricular activity.
yeah, okay. Shut up, everyone. All right, let's get this.
Or to go on shopping.
All right, shopping spree. They can afford. Where should we start?
What can I do?
Someone lead this.
We'll do the shopping spree part. The girls can afford all that, whatever.
Go marry the table.
Fucking table. And mind you, women nowadays can afford to pay our own rent and bills. We can buy
All right. Women can afford their rent and bills. Okay, they can buy their own shit. Okay, so
You
So-
go first.
Okay, so I make comfortably like 6 figures, and even I have my own financial struggles. So I highly doubt that all these women are as comfortably financially as she's saying, going on shopping sprees and whatever for themselves. And I actually see I have a lot of female friends who like they kind of like get their designer goods, whatever, from mainly their boyfriend. So,
but it's like this. Maybe like they get it, but
Yeah.
then at the end of it, they have no savings. So
Yeah.
And then it's like, you can buy it yourself, but are you doing a good financial decision? I think that's the main point.
yeah, exactly. Like most of my paycheck is going to savings.
Same.
But I feel like a lot of guys are thinking about that, saving for the future and finances, whatever. I don't see a lot of girls that are talking about finances and savings. And in terms of my previous relationships, yeah, their savings were pretty bad. So, yeah, maybe you can go on shopping sprees and whatever, but you're going to depend on your partner later on to get that house or to like pay for the wedding or whatever. So that's a pretty moot point there.
Dang, you don't think it's 50-50?
I'm doing a lot of saving.
Sandy, what do you think?
I'm doing a lot of things.
What you think about that?
The finance part.
Yeah.
Sorry, what's the question again?
Well, I mean, what he said about.
Give me a little bit of time to think about it. I'm still processing.
All right. Okay. I felt like you wanted to say something. I don't know. Okay. So no one else. All right. Going once. All right. Okay. Next part.
Afford to go
Can still afford blah blah blah, cute clothes, makeup products. She's just talking about shopping, right? Okay. Let's get to this part. I guess the question is.
What do you bring to the table? Period. Okay, I love you.
Okay. So what do you guys have to say about that last part? All I have to say for that is just very slappable face, but
but not in a good way.
I don't know. Relationships 50-50, so I feel like a lot of, or not 50-50 always, like sometimes you have to support your partner, but I'm saying like everything that she's saying that a girl is providing, I feel like a guy should also provide that too. So yeah, the video doesn't totally make sense with the like all girls, but I can understand where she's coming from by saying what she's saying.
I mean, everything that I watched throughout the video, it just seems like a lot of the points that she brought up, I understand where she's coming from, but it just sounds very transactional. What does our other half, our significant other, bring to the table? I think it's really just more than like they can give you a house, they can give you that. I think those are just practical matters, right? We're thinking about life is short and we're gonna die one day. You want to have like someone there for you throughout your life, throughout your sickness and all of that. Just, it's like a higher level of emotional support. It's not just about like I'm gonna come home and then like I'm not gonna vent about shit. I want that emotional support. I think it goes deeper than that. So when we're looking for a life partner, like it's more than just that. But do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. So say for example a guy pays for a lot of stuff and then one day he doesn't have the finances for paying for this girl and then she's like a gold digger, right? Do you think that's still gonna be a non-transactional relationship? Like once
but you just said that that's a gold digger. What if she met a girl that actually loves him, and yeah, maybe initially he still has the financial support, all of that, but then he loses it later on. Maybe something happens, and I think the right girl would actually stick with him. Yeah. And just help him out. That's true love right there. I think true love is actually when the honeymoon phase is. I don't know if I'm off topic, but I think like true love is when all the excitement dies down and you're actually just living with someone and you have to think about all the practical matters, like all of that stuff. That's when true love starts. It's not in the beginning. It's like later on.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part, right?
That's the hard part because that's when you're not in the honeymoon phase anymore. You're arguing, you're working through things, and you're making compromises with each other, and you're willing to do it. Yeah. That's when the true love starts to show up.
Yeah, so that's why I was saying that everything that she brought up just now, it sounds very superficial, but I understand that's probably the beginning stage. Yeah. Of the whole process, right? Like being in a relationship, just like how you and your boyfriend like A, B, C, D, like. Wait, sorry, that's not you and your boyfriend, but you were talking about like the talking phase, the exclusive talking. I think right now her phase is at the very beginning, but I think as she like proceeds down the line, I think her perspective might change. So this is just really the beginning phase of what she's talking about. That's what I think.
Yeah.
So she's a 304?
What?
Interesting.
Little break right now. Intermission.
Jameson.
This guy's being an alcoholic. Sandee went to the bathroom. Let's talk a little bit about the lens, though. I just got this lens, and it's like wide angle, and then it gets everyone. Before we had this like camera over here, and then it was going over here. But then the problem with that is that we couldn't see everyone's faces when they're looking at the monitor. So you think a lot about these things when you're setting up for like a podcast, right?
Beautiful.
Pretty fucking crazy, but I like it. It's a really nice picture. And then, I mean, if anyone has any like comments or like suggestions, drop a comment below. Fucking third wheeling right now.
I just want to get the breathalyzer. I actually want to see where I'm at.
I think you should be fine, dude.
It's because we just had a little discussion about this.
Oh. So that all ties back to like what we were talking about. If someone's like being an alcoholic, right? So then I think that's very critical. If that person really wants to stop being an alcoholic, then
okay, so you don't know much about our relationship, but when we do talk about like certain things that bother us, and I feel like I get bothered by things more than he does, but I feel like I'm super observant with certain things, and when I bring it up and then I'm upset, we talk about how like what are steps that he can take to like alleviate that, or how we could change for the future. So again, communication is just super important.
Yeah, I think the biggest red flag though is if like someone is an alcoholic and then they're like, that's just me though, and their attitude is just like, oh, I'm just like this, like this is how I live my life, and then it's like a really fine, is it fine line? Is that the word? It's very black and white that this is something you should not do versus something that should be done, right? Because alcohol, like, just it ruins families and stuff like that. It's
What's considered alcoholic though?
Like you don't have a lot of money and then you spend the last of your paycheck on alcohol instead of like rent.
What if you have money, and what's considered alcoholic?
I think when
drinking like every day is pretty alcoholic, right?
Well, some people have like a glass of wine, but I'm saying like I think alcoholic would say like you come home from work and then the first thing you think about is like, I need to get like fucked, right? Like I need to drink until like the day, like I don't feel like the stress of the day anymore.
What if you feel the need to drink like on the first day or the second day because you're nervous? Is that considered
No, I don't think that's an alcoholic. An alcoholic is more so like you drink way too much and it starts kind of like affecting you, right? Because if you drink so much where you go to sleep and then you wake up the next day, you're hungover, the next day after that you go to work and that affects your work. Maybe not like super like detrimental, but over time, if every single day you're having a bad day at work,
hey, blow it on podcast.
What is that?
It's a breathalyzer.
Okay, then here, you drink this.
All right, chat, or not chat. I don't stream on Twitch. All right, viewers, what do you all think Tran is at? Let's see this.
Hold on, it's counting down right now.
This is an alcoholic.
So would you consider he's an alcoholic?
No. When he drinks, he does try to be more responsible, so that's why he breathalyzes.
No, I just, if I don't drink for like a day, I start shaking.
No, he's lying. Can you not lie to the internet? They're gonna believe you.
Wait. Wait, so how often do you drink though, bro?
No, not often. Like once or twice a week.
On the weekends.
That's not
like
alcohol.
on weekends.
Yeah, that's not.
I'm really I'm 0.03 by the way.
Yeah, it's not like during the weekday he's like, let's get hammered.
All right. Well,
okay, I want to go back to a previous point.
the last point.
No,
Which one?
It's fine. I'll just bring it up. So the blowjob one.
What blowjob?
The blowjob one. When she was like tying her hair up.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha. Okay.
He's like, what are you talking about?
Totally forgot about that shit.
All right, so there was a period of time when I was like unemployed, and I was dating a girl at the time, and I told her about it, and I was like sad, whatever. She wasn't good at emotionally comforting me. But my point is, I also told one of my homies, and not only did he give me a can of beer, he also got me a job, and that was the most helpful thing that could have happened. So I think that even though guys are not as emotionally supportive, they're very practical, and they'll come up with like a logical solution instead. And a lot of times that's more helpful to me than just talking about it.
True.
Yeah.
Resolution focused.
Yeah. So I would have much preferred a job than a blowjob, and I got that from the homie.
A job than a blowjob.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that was deep, bro. That was deeper than getting a blowjob deep in her mouth, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay, that was the.
Did you say A because she's Australian?
No, I just have a habit of saying A. But okay.
That makes sense though.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when guys they vent, it might be a little bit different than women, right? We just want emotional comfort, but guys, do they sometimes just want a resolution, or they just want the emotional support?
For me, yeah, like it's hard for me to feel better about a problem until it's resolved. So even if I talk about it or talk it out, yeah, I'll feel like a little better, but I won't completely feel better till it's like.
But girls
said
do
and
that
done.
for girls too. Like if I tell Stephanie about my problem, I think she's gonna give me the emotional support, and she's also gonna give me a resolution. She's gonna be like, maybe you should do this and that.
I
Is
think
it
it's a case by case basis on
Yeah.
the girl's like ability to help you through that. Maybe at the time, like, okay, so if you were to lose your job today, like now I have resources where I can help you with that. But let's say when I was like teaching before I had a corporate job, I wouldn't be able to do that for you because my scope is in this realm of like this, you know, like work environment. But your work environment is more corporate, so I wouldn't be able to help you in that sense. But now I do. So like if you were to lose your job tomorrow, I could help you with that.
Yeah, and I would much prefer that, is what I'm saying. So she's like, you know, talking up the whole emotional support thing. I'm just saying that there are some people like me who value the practical solution versus the emotional support, and I'd much rather have the practical solution.
Same here. Yeah, like what's the game plan?
Yeah.
Like more so like I feel like girls is just more about like, oh, it's okay, like you're a queen, slay, bitch. No, I'm just kidding. Not
Wouldn't
slay,
you
bitch.
want
So
someone?
I feel like okay, so with
listen
TikTok and these girls, like these people that like make these type of videos, I feel like it's like and we've talked about this where it's like a movement, right? Like so many girls have had the similar like experience of dating like bad men, right? Like where maybe they don't emotionally support them, they don't treat them well, and it's like because you love this person, and it might be a toxic kind of love, like you love this person so much, you deal with certain things, and that's why girls are trying to empower other girls by like saying like, hey, you offer so much to the table. And these are conversations that we do have in private, like, okay, if this guy is constantly cheating on you, doing this and that, and you keep saying you love him, like know your worth kind of thing. So I think that's why the girls like this are making these types of videos where it's like, oh, like know your worth, like these are what you can
that's
bring
why
to
it's
the
just
table.
emotional support. But like what I'm saying is that like for us guys, it's just like more the logical, like the game plan.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I have an example from last night. We went out and went to a club with like a group of friends, and there was this one guy. He got rejected basically, and then he was like just telling us about it, and then I immediately was like, okay, first of all, like you've lost a lot of weight, which is really good, but he was wearing large shirts, and I was like, you should wear shirts that like fit you better, because it was like draping over him basically. So I actually recommended him like a nice fitting shirt company to make himself look better, right? So and I see a lot of that where it's like on online too with guys. They're like how to like dress better, how to like working out more, whatever, improving yourself. But then a lot of online videos targeted toward girls, it's like, no, you don't need to do anything. You're a queen. You're a catch. You like those guys they just ain't shit, you know, stuff like that. And I feel like it would do better for everyone to find ways to self-improve.
But what about all these makeup brands? They're telling girls that they should dress up and look better.
Yeah, no, that's good, and that I'm sure that there's a lot of those too. But maybe it's just my feed. When I see like girl support videos, it's a lot less self-improvement, and it's a lot more just celebration.
But I think it's a step-by-step process, right? Like if girls in turn know their worth, like these are what you could bring to the table, that in turn will like internally they will start being like, well, because I could bring these things to the table and I'm such a great person, I want to work to better myself. So it's like although they might not like explicitly say it, it's one of those things where it's like if internally you know like you bring a lot to the table, self-worth, this and that, and it's like maybe in a relationship you don't work out and this and that, but now that you see, hey, I'm worth more than this, I'm better than this, and this guy is treating me badly, I'm gonna put my energy into something else, myself, because I'm worth it. So then that's when they start improving themselves. And I know that it's not explicitly said in these videos, right? Like these girls are celebrating like, I am the way I am, and like slay queen, right?
Yeah, like this video. Like she's not mentioning anything about improving herself or other women.
And I agree with you in that point, but I feel like for girls it's like a step-by-step process, because you see also a lot of girls they go through a traumatic experience, or they go through a bad like experience with dating or whatever. They figure out their self-worth, and that's when they start working on themselves and improving themselves. Like maybe they start eating healthier, or start like working out, or maybe like figuring out themselves, like their body, and like, okay, these things don't make me feel good, so maybe because like I know that I'm I'm better than this and I want to do better for myself.
So you're saying for women, self-improvement starts with like feeling good about themselves first, and then they self-improve.
Because I feel like if they're not in a good headspace, they're not going to want to do anything. And I think that's with anyone, right? Like that's depression, like in general, right?
Well, it depends. I feel like for a lot of guys, putting them down actually will motivate them to be better. That's how I learned.
But that's the difference between guys and girls, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, guys are more logical. So how can we fix this solution? Like how can we fix this problem at hand? Like I feel really crappy right now. How can I fix it? But for girls, it's kind of like we need that like pre-step. Like before we start improving ourselves, we have to start feeling good about ourselves. Like.
Well, yeah, okay. If that's the case, then sure, yeah. I believe that could be the case. That makes sense. It's just that, like I said, I see way more videos where girls aren't even saying that they should improve themselves. They're just saying they're good as they are, and guys should just treat them better.
As a society, women have been put down for so long that's why they have this movement of, like, you should feel good in your own skin. You should be happy like, for yourselves. And we talked about this. Like whenever there's like a massive change in movement in one direction, there's a counter movement. Yeah. So. But
I think it's just going too far. I think there should be a middle ground of, yes, you are valued, but at the same time, there's always things we could do to become better people, and that's for men and women.
And I feel like there is a platform or like a medium for that. Like there are people that are inspirational speakers, and they talk about like, okay, yeah, like maybe you want to change and these are the steps on how to do it. And that's not in the algorithm. Like I would say that the vast majority of the algorithm is not going to be motivational speakers on how to change your life, how to feel better day to day, and what steps you can take. There are classes for that, and that's more like monetized, right? Like people are not going to offer this information for free per se, like especially on TikTok and stuff. Like I don't think the motivational speakers are doing well because they're not like in the algorithm for these things, right?
Well, the ones for men are.
I feel like like I said, like I don't think the vast majority of girls are even thinking about that. If
you're talking about motivational speakers for women are not popular because they're not.
I feel like it's not like circulating a lot on like the algorithm.
Yeah, because
like,
ones for men are.
I see a lot for guys. So it's fine in that sense. But I'm saying like for girls, like we're not seeing that. Maybe we will, but I think as of right now, you're not really seeing that in the algorithm. And if you think about all the social media that like people are consuming per day, if it's not in the algorithm, you're not really going to see it. But if for guys' algorithm, like if you guys are seeing motivational speakers, that's why you guys are more practical. Like, how can I fix this problem?
I have a question. So you guys are a couple. Yeah. What do you guys bring to each other's table? I'm very curious.
So for her, she is like, for me, there's two things I value in a relationship. It's communication and a compatible sense of humor.
I think that's very important.
Yeah, so those are my two most important things.
What about the communication? Like, is she someone that's like very patient to work things out, talk things through before she gets mad?
No, that's not the problem for me. For me, almost everyone I've dated so far, and I'm not saying this is just women. I'm pretty sure a lot of men are like this too. But basically, when something bothers them, they hold it in and they don't voice it. Right. Then turns into resentment, later on turns into a fight, and that happens a lot. And then also a lot of times there will be an argument, and then they'll cut it off. They'll like, I don't want to talk about it anymore, and a few hours pass, then they start talking as if everything's back to normal without resolving the issue. And I hate that. I can't do that.
They're just like holding it in, until it's okay,
because it's gonna come back again.
So the value she brings it in terms of communication is that whatever she has on her mind, she says it and she tells you in the manner where you don't get pissed off.
Yeah, so that was a problem in the beginning, and I told her this is my number one thing, and in the beginning, like you guys talked about earlier, she's anxious avoidant, so she would avoid talking about things that made her upset, and then she would also give me the silent treatment. And
even when she's drunk, even when she drinks, she doesn't say it.
She doesn't drink a lot. She doesn't really drink at all. Okay.
Yeah. Drink more.
How does that constitute to communication though? Like good.
That's communication. Like
anxious avoidance.
Oh no, because she would avoid talking about the topics. Like she would just shut down. Like she would just do the silent treatment when she gets upset instead of like telling me.
Isn't that bad? Like you're not communicating.
Yeah, that's
what
what
he's saying in the beginning.
I'm saying in the beginning. That's how it was. Yeah. So then we had a lot of talks about it, and I basically told her this is my number one thing. Like that's my only deal breaker, pretty much. And so she has gotten a lot better with it, and like now when something upsets her, she will actually
on the
tell
way to
me.
being secure.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I join you on that?
Yeah.
Give me 5.
Yeah.
But that's literally my number one thing. No girl I've dated in the past has brought that to the table, and she has. So
way to go, Stephanie.
So when's the wedding?
So what does he bring you like in the relationship?
So I would say I don't really like in terms of my dating, like I don't have a lot of like toxic like dating experiences. Probably because I'm anxious avoidant, so if something scares me, I'm like bye. But
That's funny.
I think he's actually a really caring person. So if anything like comes to like if it's something bothers me or anything like that, we talk about it, and then there are actually like practical solutions. So he'll tell me like, okay, so this is a very like nuanced thing that you like that you're very upset about, but these are the steps that we can take to alleviate that.
Oh, he said these are the steps.
Yeah, so
I love that.
So these are the things that he could do to help alleviate like how I'm feeling. Yeah, like how I'm feeling, and so he has, and a lot of the things that like happens is like he's had a past, and he reassures me a lot. So when we talk about like if I'm feeling like insecure or something is bothering me, he will reassure me, and he'd be like, well, like I understand where you're coming from, and he doesn't like invalidate my feelings. He's like, okay, I understand where you're coming from, but I want you to know that this is my like thought process, and this is and if it really bothers you, these are the things that I'm gonna do to help you with that. So yeah, there's a lot of emotional support. I feel like we joke around a lot, so that's like that's really good. Like we're laughing all the time. It's not like we're just like, I don't know.
Yeah, sense of humor is also important because I don't like to take life seriously, so I'm joking a lot, and in my past that's also been a source of many arguments. Like a lot of people think I joke too much, and I understand that. Like I do think.
But do you joke during like situations where it should be serious? Like if they bring
I
up
do, yeah.
Yeah, he
so
does.
I do joke when I shouldn't. So
like you're not addressing it.
I'll address it.
He'll say a snarky comment or like a joking comment, and then it'll be like, okay, but seriously, and I'm like, that was a little unnecessary.
Yeah.
I was like, that was funny. I was like, that was funny. It's a little unnecessary, but let's get back to it. So it's not like I'm like getting upset with him for that.
Why do you do that? Why do some people do that?
Oh, I use a
coping mechanism.
Yeah, I use humor as a defense mechanism. Like if I.
For me, not defense mechanism.
It is for me.
Probably like just alleviate like the environment, or the obvious.
That's pretty much what I'm talking about.
Does it make it better from your experiences? I'm really curious.
Make it more chill, you know.
Yeah, if I feel like something is getting too serious, I feel this internal pressure.
But the thing is,
I'm like, gotta crack a joke.
But if we're not chill about it, we're actually serious about it. Then when we hear like a snarky comment, it's just like,
what? Oh no, so no, I'm with you on that, because there's sometimes where he will say something and then I'm like, okay, no, honestly, like this is not the time. So I will tell him.
We fought about that.
Yeah,
before.
like we've had a conversation about this, and I'll tell him like, I'm like, hey, I understand that like we always joke around, but I'm being really serious with you right now, and I want to know that you're taking me seriously. So then he'll be like, oh, okay. So he switches gears over. He's like, wait, I'm sorry.
So you guys do have a really good communication, because she tells you when you need to be serious, and you actually listen and you reciprocate.
Yeah, but that took time.
Yeah.
Like at first, it wasn't like that. She would just like get upset.
He feels like I honey dicks him a little bit, because we had a thing about unconditional love. So we actually talked about that. Was like one of the first fights or disagreements that we had. It wasn't really a fight. It was just like a disagreement.
Right.
And I brought it to the table right away. Like it bothered me. And the thing with me is like when I'm upset, I get quiet. So he already knew I was kind of upset, and he was like, hey, what's wrong? And I just like told him right out the bat, because I was like, okay, so like this whole unconditional love thing, like I want to know that when I get like, because for him, I know that like looks is really important. And then one of my things is like, I don't want someone to date me because of my looks, because I know I bring a lot more to the table. It's funny that we're talking about this now. That I could bring a lot more to the table than just like being a pretty face, right?
Yeah.
So then I told him like, if that's what you're looking for, then like we shouldn't date then. And this was like before we were even official or anything.
Bluntness.
Yeah, so that was like
I did too.
I did too. So then he was like, "Oh my god, like she can communicate." And then as time went on, I think for me, I was like scared to ruin the relationship if I was being too honest or being too communicative.
So she stops doing it.
Yeah, and then we had to talk about it, and then now I do it again.
I was like, you were communicative at first, and then you stopped. What happened? And then she started working on it, and now she's back to being communicative again.
So Panda, you haven't talked.
Oh, I wanted to kind of like get to this video a little bit. Sorry.
Yeah.
I just wanted to like, this was kind of on my mind, but what we were talking about before, right? With that whole like how men support each other and how women support each other. I thought this was pretty fucking hilarious. So let's show that real quick.
TikTok for girls and motivational TikTok for guys is completely different. Because on the girl side, it sounds like this.
You're the prize. You're the queen. Yes, queen. Being your feminine area.
And then men motivational TikTok sounds like this.
You're weak. You gotta get off your ass. You ain't got no money. You ain't got no beat. You don't drive a Bentley. How many Bugattis you got? What color's your Bugatti? You gotta hit the gym. Get your life back together. What if John Cena slaps your mama? What you gonna do? Nothing, cause you're a weak ass. Punk ass. Built like an anorexic Jada Picker Smith looking at.
TikTok for girls.
It's true though.
Okay, I want to discuss
the comment though. It says the feminine grows by praise and the masculine by challenge.
Oh wow, literally just what he said. That's crazy. Wow. Steph called it.
Boom.
Let's see. This is by praise, by okay. So there's not necessarily one that's better, right?
No, I think it's just what works for like
what motivates.
But the feminine like whatever, it has to lead to self-improvement. It can't just be praise. And I feel like for a lot of like online videos for women, it stops at the praise. It doesn't move on to the self-improvement.
So then they don't get that knowledge of how to get a game plan to move the steps.
I mean, I get that on my algorithm, but again, I think it just depends on what you're being fed, right? Like a lot of it. If a girl is, and I told you like this is a step-by-step process. So if a girl's going through this like emotional time where she needs that praise, right? She needs to know her worth, and she's like trying to build that. Then of course her algorithm's gonna keep spitting that out for her. And I think maybe like people should be making more like
but
for
let's
girls.
be real here. Let's be real here. You guys have seen girls who just like constantly need that praise over and over again, and then they end up not doing jack shit, right? It's just like an endless pool of necessary praise. I think there's
I've seen that. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And it just like gets nowhere. It's just like constantly needing praise for like probably 10 years even. I actually know a girl who went through that. Like it's just like 10 years of just like needing this stuff, and then it ends up like her just going nowhere. And then I don't know, I guess that's another question too, like the definition of like having a game plan. Like are we talking about like success for financial gain, or what are we talking about here?
Oh, self-improvement?
Yeah, self-improvement.
Oh, it could be anything. Like for men and women, yeah, like your career, improving your career, being more healthy, fixing your diet, working out, and it's like
or just being a
mental
better person.
self-improvement.
Yes. Yeah. So this girl, she actually needed this amount of emotional support and praise, like how like these videos say. She probably gets this a lot, but for every aspect, like let's say like job, let's say like her health, let's say her addiction to like drugs, all that stuff, it probably had like a very small curve of improvement, whereas other girls that I've seen probably like it would go exponential of improvement, right? So I think like there's thresholds to this. I think that you could get praise, but to a certain point it's just like nonstop. It's just fucking at that point it's just a loophole.
Yeah, I think it's like
a black hole.
And we talk about like mindset change. I think it just depends on the person. Like if they're constantly in a bad place and then they're constantly needing praise, but then they don't realize that the definition of insanity is like doing the same thing, expecting something different, right? And I think that they're not in the headspace to make that like distinction in their mind and say like, okay, I'm feeling really bad, and then I have my yes girl era, right? And then after that, like how can I get past this just needing this praise? So I think it's just like girls knowing that they need to make a change so that they can reach whatever goals that they want to reach, instead of just being like, oh yeah, I feel good about myself right now, and then going back to like, okay, I feel really bad.
But when the girl is seeking validation from like the guy that they're dating, for example, you said you were dating a girl that was constantly seeking validation. What did you do and what did you say? Did you try to tell her that these are the things that
I think that's too high maintenance for me.
But
like,
did you try to like guide her like, hey, these are the things that you should do to like?
Yeah, I try to guide, but then like it passes a certain point like where if she needs so much emotional support, like too much of anything is not good, right?
Yeah,
and then it's just like your time is just all spent on, oh, I'm gonna have all these conversations with my boyfriend, my girlfriends about like how I can get emotional support, that I just end up not improving myself. Like think about it, if like 90% of your time is just on these stupid ass conversations and you're not doing shit with your life, how are you gonna improve, right? So then your investment of time is always just having these conversations where it's just like comfort, and then you're not making any steps to actually implement those. I mean, I think the same thing goes for guys, right?
Yeah.
For like these videos, like for example, I think this guy is kind of like mocking Andrew Tate, where it's like, oh, how many Bugattis do you have? And then you have guys who they get all these like game plans of like Andrew Tate, oh, how to make money and blah blah blah, but they don't actually do shit. So it's the same thing. I think it applies to both men and women. Women, where it's like, oh, you need to receive a lot of praise, girl. And then for men, it's like, oh, okay, you got to do this shit to stop being a little bitch. But then he ends up not doing anything. He ends up not going to the gym. He ends up not even making financial success. So I think, yeah, you could listen to all these, like, I guess not stupid, but motivational stuff in terms of logic or emotion. But it all boils down to like whether you're going to apply it, implement it, and actually do something with your fucking life.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess now I see it from both point of views, where it's like, yeah, like emotion is not necessarily worse than like logic, but it's all a matter of like whether you're going to do something about it.
Yeah, it's like what result does it lead to? Yeah. And if the girl needs a lot of praise, but that eventually leads to her improving herself, then yeah, that's good. Yeah, and it works.
Yeah. Then that's productive, right?
But I think a very unattractive trait in both genders is someone who constantly complains about where their life is and does nothing about it.
Yeah.
Like that's a very unattractive trait, because like if you're gonna keep complaining, then do something about it.
Yeah, that's too much. But anyways, yeah, I guess this video is getting pretty long. Do we have anything else with this? Like, is she Singaporean? I don't know.
I think she is, because she said la.
But Taiwanese say la.
Oh, really?
No,
but not when they speak English, though.
no.
Only when they speak Chinese.
The way she talks is a little Singaporean.
People from Singapore, they say la.
Can you go on her profile and see like her other videos? Like,
I don't even want to see her profile.
Jazzy Baby 99.
Here, let me check it out.
Find the video. Just.
Let's see. All right, Jazzy Baby 99. Holy shit. Okay, so she's at least 18. Okay, I'm not like saying a fucking child is slappable face.
you can click, right there.
All right.
You've been talking about slappable face.
What are we trying to see? Like how hot she is? Or
no, I just want to see.
She's
if
pretty
she
hot.
Or if she says la.
She is pretty hot. But
no, I just want to see if she has other like videos on the same topic.
A girl's girl. Okay. Okay.
Wait, can you read? I can't. The right eyes are always on me.
All right, whatever. I mean, I guess.
Click that feminine energy. I want to see that one with at the left. Yeah.
Stop! I need every gorgeous girl to watch this right now. This is one of the best ways to tap into your feminine energy. Because being the cool girl isn't cool anymore, okay? Don't get me wrong, I still love being a baddie. I still love being an edgy hottie that does not give a single fuck. But my life has changed so much since I am more in my feminine energy. And not even to attract a provider man. Let's leave the men out of this. I am doing this for me.
I can't do this.
It makes me
so cringe, bro. I can't do this, man. Like the way she talks is just so. I don't know. You guys don't feel that? It's just so annoying. It's like a yapping chihuahua, bro.
That's definitely not feminine energy from what I see.
Yeah, dude. Like the way
it's
very like boss
aggressive.
Bitch.
Yeah, it's not soft and nurturing and just talking shit.
Yeah, I don't know how she claims she's like feminine, but she's actually a boss bitch.
She has a lot of likes or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think people nowadays just really like very extreme stuff and.
That's what gets the views.
Yeah, behaviors online.
You know this polarizing views.
Yeah, maybe I should be a little bit more. Well, like that's the thing with Controvert. We try to see it from all perspectives. So yeah, I mean, obviously, like I'm a man. I will see it from a man's point of view. I would see it like logic, conquers over emotion. But I guess like this conversation did kind of prove that, you know, emotion doesn't necessarily emotion is not necessarily worse than logic, right? So I guess
just depends on the person.
Yeah, like having these conversations is very critical, you know. Yeah. So I guess like maybe that's why this channel, because it's too balanced, maybe that's why we're only 500 subs, but we're improving. So if you guys want to smash that like button and subscribe, it would help so much. And leave a comment. It'll help the algorithm so much.
Follow for rational conversations. Balanced perspectives.
Yeah, we're trying to be more rational, not like some fucking crazy red pill shit or like some crazy feminist shit. It's either one or the other. Like that's why I wanted to start this podcast, because it's like, you know, you see all this stuff, it's all like super red pill, or you see all this stuff is super feminine, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? We need like a balance with this. Something people will actually find like value in, I guess.
I find a lot of values in this podcast. I love it.
Thank you.
You're sharing like perspectives from all, like, you know, different genders, different people. Like it's great.
She's supporting your vision, bro.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well,
all right.
Like this video. It would help so much. And we will see you guys next time on Controvert Podcast. Peace out. All right. Cheers. Cheers. Without Stephanie.